What's going on, guys? No Guides here. Welcome back to another video. This will be a quick update on everything. First of all, the beta key. Now, some of you may have received the beta key, some of you only, being the key terminology. The beta keys have already been released. If you haven't got it already, there is a chance you might not get one. There might be a third batch, there may not be. I'll say check your email address. You might have got one, but it's only for US and UK users that I know of so far. So if you're in like Australia or you're anywhere else in Europe, you may not get a beta key. I think even for this year, it's still UK and US, and again, it's only selected players, so do bear that in mind. The FIFA 21 beta doesn't transfer to the FIFA 21 main game, so if you get like Ronaldo in a beta, you won't get it in. Obviously, it's just like a test phase. Just imagine this being another FIFA, a test phase. But do check your email for that. Now, the second question I have to ask, or you probably have to ask, is I wanted to quickly go over just to update a lot of things going on behind the scenes. We've done a little bit of restructuring. So the prices have changed. So for those of you that have already paid, don't worry. If you're still on your actual platform or whichever one you paid for, if you paid for gold, you paid for silver, you would still retain those benefits. Even though they won't be on a website, you would still retain those benefits. There's no doubt about that. It's just been changed for newcomers. In terms of the price change hasn't been active as of yet. It was meant to be active on the 1st of August, but unfortunately Patreon had some internal issues and some issues with payment, I'm presuming because they're changing their currency kind of things. So there has been an issue on that front. So it hasn't been changed yet, but it should be changed as soon as possible. So do bear that in mind. The second thing is the system. So this was FIFA School. So as you know, I made all the videos regarding FIFA School. And this video will continue into FIFA 21. The most important thing is there's going to be a period where there might be no videos. And we get this specifically related to FIFA School. There's two things I want to do next year. FIFA Academy this year was a bit different. So FIFA Academy basically was a system where you guys could submit your clips, and I then analyzed them. I did this for a couple of weeks. The issue was I didn't really get that many clips. In the beginning of the game, I did get quite a bit, but I think once it was kind of becoming a bit repetitive, I found that it wasn't really as effective, and I found that you guys didn't really use the service too much. Some people did use now and then, but most of the time people did not. So what I wanted to go over is there's going to be a new system. There's going to be a FIFA Academy. Now, it's not going to be upload your video clips. FIFA Academy is going to be like a short clip version of FIFA School. So what would happen is you'll have two versions of FIFA School. You'll have kind of a basic level, so it'll explain what is passing, how do you do a lofted pass. It'll be like a quick 1-minute video explaining how to do a lofted pass. That's it. It'll be simple. It wouldn't be elaborate, for example, like some of these videos that take 44 minutes, because I know some of these videos are 44 minutes. But what's become more apparent is you guys don't really watch the videos per se, all the videos all the time, and you just want quick snippets of information. So that's going to help. As I said, with these videos, when I started FIFA School, I started in November. The reason why FIFA School started in November is because it took some time to learn the meta of the game. I want to put out videos straight away, and then I teach you something that's incorrect, whereas after 1 month it could be completely redundant. Just to give you a bit of an example, if you go to Google, if you type in FIFA 21 pitch notes, you can see, and it's going to go all the way to here. I think this link should work, I think. If you go over here and then you go, I think it's over here, you go to pitch notes, it should be over here. If they still have it, I hope they haven't deleted it. Let's have a look. Using updates, pitch notes. Okay, so you have it from last year as well. So as you can see, when the game came out in October, it then changed. Like, as you can see, look, there was essentially 4 updates in the first month. There was more than this. Unfortunately, it doesn't go big. I think they have deleted it, as I imagined. There isn't any more. But as you can see, the 4th update was on the 16th of October. The game came out on the 23rd, and they already made so many adjustments to the game in literally the 4th week. So that's why there's going to be a period where you might see, hang on, why is there no videos being made for FIFA School itself? This is the reason why. So what we're going to do is we're going to concentrate on the FIFA Academy first. So the FIFA Academy will have basic videos. And as I said, then we'll go on to these more elaborate videos as time goes on. As I said, the meta will change. And a lot of these things that you've learned so far will all be able to be used in FIFA 21. So if you watch this video, for example, general settings, there'll be a new general settings video that will come out. But apart from that, the base core line is the same. I guarantee you one thing. What I've taught you, maybe you don't realize, but what I've taught you is core line FIFA. That means the FIFA you've learned, you can use on any FIFA game. You can play FIFA 20, FIFA 19, FIFA 17, or even play FIFA 21. And the same methodologies apply. That's the key. If you're ever unsure of something, just go back and watch one of these videos. Even if you're sitting here now and saying, is there a point of going back? I would say yes. In all honesty, I would say maybe only 5% of everyone that watches the videos actually watched it properly. And what I meant by that is they watch, for example, let's say the example of cutting the passing lanes, and they watched a walkthrough, then they went into the game and tested it out themselves. Once you test something out, the key thing is to go back and watch it again, or then move on only when you test it out. What I've realized is people have just been watching 10 episodes in one day. That is not the correct way to go about it. It's important, and let's just say you're watching this now, maybe you're a Gold 1 player, and maybe you still want to go further, I'd recommend maybe going back and watching one of these episodes, okay? And then looking what's in the game and trying to implement what you remember. The key thing is positioning. As I said, the game has changed quite some bit, in all honesty. You can see the FIFA 21 deep dive. There's a lot of things I want to talk about. A lot of these things, for example, like agile dribbling, it won't come out yet. That will be later on. Creative runs, again, will come out in the beginning, but it'll be more in the FIFA Academy first. We'll go over the basics first, and then we'll go into elaborate ones. That way you kind of get your foot straight into the game. So I don't want you to wait, for example, for let's say, for example, like a month or so. I'll still be making content, of course. Don't think I'm not making content. Or for Patreon, of course I will be. But I didn't want you to wait, for example, 1 month in to get, for example, the first defending video, whereas you might want to know the basics before. So that way FIFA Academy will be there for the first month and will kind of continue along. And then you additionally get FIFA School. So you basically get 2 instead of 1 now. So you get FIFA Academy, which is going to be like a more basic version with shorter videos and to the point. And FIFA School itself, as opposed to FIFA Academy, will be more elaborate videos as these videos work. Because these videos are really, really good if you really want to understand the game very well. There's a lot of things that have also changed FIFA 21. I'm currently playing the beta. I can't really talk about it, but let's just say I'm playing the beta. When I will play it soon. I've not played it just yet, but I have downloaded it. A lot of these things that will be in the game, they're not going to really affect the game too much from a gameplay standpoint. For example, like people think this will change the game too much. It may do from like the way you play, but the way you make the pass happens the same way. You still create the 45-degree angle when you make the pass. That's what's important. It's just the timing. So a lot of these things, don't worry about them too much. Don't think it's changing. One thing that is changing though is defending attributes. When I say run back with my CDMs, the reason why I try to advocate that is because you need to understand positioning is the most important thing. This is why players that can play with a 5k team or a 10k gold team. That's why you see the top tier players play with silver teams. It's because they have the positioning and know where to stand. For example, maybe a lower tier player would have maybe instead of choosing this guy and running into that position and intercepting a ball, they may just kind of just run out like that towards a player or something else. This is obviously AI. Now, AI is going to become much more powerful next year. So the benefits is you'll be lucky because I think what you've learned so far, this kind of helps reinforce it, because now defending is going to be more OP with obviously the better players you have, and you already know naturally have good positioning play after. I said a lot of these things are kind of irrelevant. The game will be very much similar. There'll just be some major changes to the meta. In terms of crossing, from what I know, crossing has changed. Again, I had to test this out. And just for a general rule of thumb, if you practice something in the beta is nothing like the real game. Even the demo, when they release a demo, and I will say, so if you got beta access online, you're lucky now. But even when the beta is finished, the demo comes out I think the game releases on 9th of October, so I'll say end of September, the demo will come out. The issue is that the demo is still nothing like the game. So until you play the game itself, you don't know what the game's like. And as I mentioned, within 4 weeks, they could essentially change the game entirely. Literally, within 4 patches, the game could be a different thing. We've seen this with FIFA 18. FIFA 18, before the patch and after, was like night and day. It was a completely different game. And that's one thing you have to bear in mind. So don't just think just because something's working. So if you, for example, start spamming headers in a demo and it's working against all your friends, and you try doing it online, it doesn't work. Don't feel disheartened. It's not because of you. It's because they've changed the way the game is, just to make it a bit more fair. There is some new stuff though. Passing, as I said, a lot of this stuff is done. We're going to go over this in the FIFA Academy. Passing, the basics, taking the first touches, that will all be in FIFA Academy. There is new forms of crossing. As I said, these will have to be tested. I have a kind of group of people that are testing this with me, so I'm not the only one that's testing it. There's other people testing it with me as well, and they will let me know what they think, and obviously I'll test it myself, and because they're probably more efficient than me at crossing. As you guys probably know, I don't really teach crossing this year because it was irrelevant. So people are better in place for different positions of the game. I'm there as well, so at the end of the day I still have the final say on how the game is, but I have selective individuals that kind of give me their opinion and what they think works well and what's the ways to use it. At the end of the day, I still make all the videos, I do everything on my end, but what I'm saying is I have kind of a elite 1 player, a top 100 player, a couple of gold players and a lot of silver players. The reason why I do that is same if you see my formation videos on YouTube, I do it the exact same way. It's because what happens is when I make a formation, it might work. Like for example, this 3-2-3-2, any elite player, that's it. You can easily get elite 1 the same way as you normally do. If you get that to a gold 3 player, they might this time get silver 1. So a lot of things depends on, you know, the level of the user, which is very much important. So do bear that in mind. Also, I would recommend as well, when the game comes out, I'll be making YouTube guides for my main YouTube channel. I would say concentrate on the guides on my main YouTube channel and use Patreon as well. Patreon will be there. As I said, the FIFA Academy will be there in the first month. We'll go over some general settings, what the settings do, stuff like that. But I would say make sure you look at the main YouTube channel. A lot of the information here is for free, of course. But a lot of the tools will be here, will be on a more basic level. But it will give you the kickstart that you need. And that's what I'd recommend. So just bear that in mind. So if in case when the game does start, I would say use the combination of FIFA Academy, because FIFA Academy is going to come out first and will continue for the rest of the year. And then use FIFA School alongside it when it does come out in the future, but then also reinforce that with the YouTube knowledge that you should get in the first couple of weeks. There has been some new things. There's new skill moves which we'll go on to as well. There's new settings, which this will all be a general video when the game comes out. I'll explain everything, how everything works when the game comes out, of course, and how these general settings do work. So bear in mind for that. There's now changes to skill moves. So before the drag back has now been changed to L1 R1. Remember how I taught you guys, for example, to use a drag back using the L1 R1 anyway? Remember I explained to you that you want to kind of do the animation with the L1 and you kind of want to do like the R1 as well. You kind of guarantee it. They've actually changed the system now, so thankfully you've learned it the correct way. You're just basically moving your index finger. So now you've changed to L1 R1. This would be a bit better, but I think it depends on how it would be in a game. Again, it might not even be effective. They've also changed the way skill moves work, so now you can chain skill moves together. So we're going to be bringing back some skill moves. You're going to be seeing the Elastico video coming out very soon on his main channel. That's a 5-star skill move, but I think one that's very, very important that will come out. There is also skill moves that will be used. For example, I think it's up to 4-star skill moves. So for example, like the scoop turn, for example, right? And let's just say, for example, the rainbow, those are running scoop turn 5-star, normal scoop turn 4-star, and rainbow is a 4-star skill move. Now, certain skill moves, for example, you're able to do on a lower tier. So even though, let's say, for example, a simple rainbow. So I'll give an example, right? Neymar's a player that can do the rainbow guaranteed. Why? It's because Neymar has a 5-star skill move. However, if we gave the ball to, I'm trying to think of someone, for example, who doesn't have 4-star skill moves. I think Kante doesn't have 4-star skill moves. Let's just look at Kante. Assuming this is FIFA 20, because he has a 2-star skill moves, from now on he can now actually do the simple rainbow. What would happen is the rainbow would fail more likely. So basically from 1 to 4-star skill moves, anyone can do it. However, there's different ranges. There's like if you're a 4-star skiller and you do a 2-star skill move, it will be completely perfect, nothing will go wrong. However, if you're a 2-star skiller and you want to do a 4-star skiller, it would work, but it will be slow. For example, the stop and turn, it's pretty quick for a 4-star skill move player. If you're a 2-star skill move, it might be very, very slow. It might take you, for example, 5 seconds to perform the animation as opposed to 3 seconds, just as an example. So do bear that in mind. And as I said, there is some other stuff to responsiveness, but that's not really important too much. They've changed some things that they've reduced the impact of the way the game is toxic, as you probably may know or not. They've also changed team press. This is why, as I said, I didn't teach team press. In case you're wondering about team press, if you really want to go towards the elite tiers and above, what you should really focus on is the recent videos uploaded. So if you go all the way to the top, these videos are very, very hard to learn. I said some of these videos, I said you won't get them straight away. It might take you a couple of weeks, sometimes even months to understand them. But watch the videos, for example, you know, how to use teammate contain, double up that player, how to hold the line, how to use team. Watch all these videos. These videos will help you a lot. As I said, it's very, very complicated, but just watch the videos. I know it's going to seem too hard, but it's very important. Going into next year, as I mentioned, because they've nerfed team press, remember that's why they made a video on it, because I knew they're going to nerf it and they're going to change it. It's now become a button format, so you basically press it, it activates for like 5 seconds. So that's the way it's done. So you can't abuse it anymore, and you have to do it, trigger it manually. So it's kind of like when you press team press, basically team press comes on for like 10 seconds. That's one thing I wanted to bear in mind. There's a few other things that are not really important. This kickoff mode rewind, I'll explain to this how this is very effective and how it can be used. That'll be coming out as well. And there is some more changes that we don't really know about. As I said, the most important thing is that when the game comes out, as I mentioned, FIFA School will take some time for it to come out. Just because the game meta will change. And I said, I don't want to teach you one thing. Let's say, for example, I teach you to use, let's say L2 plus R2. This year was the meta. It will be next year as well. It will be still the same way. But let's just say, for example, they changed it and they nerfed it so badly that you have to use the contain button. Well, now you're back, or let's say you have to use the contain button if you're on PS4, then you're back to square one again. The worst thing I want to do is make you go backwards. So what will happen is FIFA Academy, as I mentioned, will be these short, simple videos, which will, for example, explain like, what is, for example, a double lofted pass? What is, for example, a driven pass? When can a driven pass be used? What's it good for? So short snippets of key information that you really need to know. Alongside that, you want to look at my main YouTube channel. My main YouTube channel, our channels will have tutorials for everyone. A lot of these tutorials, they will be very basic. They won't be elaborate. They won't be like nowhere near the Patreon level, but they'll be very basic. So you can look at somewhere like, for example, the top 5. These would be like, you see like a thumbnail like this will be the same for FIFA 20. But it won't be as elaborate. So do bear that in mind. So a lot of these tutorials will help. They help a lot, but they'll be just like everyone else's tutorials. There won't be the significant level where I explain everything in detail. So do bear that in mind. I'll have something like this as well. As I said, the more detailed version will be released on the Patreon that you'll see very soon. So I just wanted to go over that. So yes, of course, you'll have FIFA Academy, and that'll be alongside the YouTube channel, and then FIFA School, which will then, so YouTube will still continue for the public, and then FIFA Academy again will then, FIFA Academy and YouTube will still continue for the public. YouTube will always be for the public. It'll always be free. That's where most content creators do release the information. FIFA Academy will only be for you guys. So it'll be for you guys and Twitch Prime members. That's the people that get access to FIFA Academy. So it's still a paid service, but because you have access to FIFA School, this comes within. So basically you're kind of getting 2 services for one, if that makes sense. So in terms of FIFA School, as I said, you'll probably start literally, I would say probably 1 month in. As long as the meta doesn't change, and once I'm comfortable with the game and I think, you know what, the game where it stands now is not going to change. But that's very, very important. It's really, really important you take that into account, because a lot of people, they always have this doubt when the game comes out. And it's why people, they change. What I would say is when a game comes out, play the exact same way that I've taught you. Do not, I'll be honest, if you watch any videos, I'm not saying it's bad to watch any other videos, any other content creators, but I would say just literally play what you've learned the same way. If you find, for example, this is the goal and you're over here and you take a near post shot, if that near post shot doesn't go in, keep doing it until you realize it doesn't go in. The reason why I'm saying it is you need to understand why things are not working. Don't just watch, for example, a video and someone releases, I don't know, a new meta heading guide, and you see, for example, every time you do like a low cross, then the ball goes at the back of the net. That's the wrong way to go about it. The way I go about FIFA every year is do not feel, oh my God, I've only finished gold 3 and I'm a gold 2 player and FIFA 21 comes out. It doesn't make a difference. The most important thing is in the first couple of weeks, of course, placement is finished, but the first couple of weeks you want to learn, for example, you want to basically learn what you already know already. So let's say, for example, near post shots don't know. By the second, third week, you'll know near post shots don't work anymore. You will know a new meta, and that way your growth will go better. Because what happens is, in terms of like in a graph kind of system, in terms of, for example, let's say growth and skill level, people, they start like over here. They start here, then they go down a little bit because they're not used to the game. And if they watch the tutorials, they shoot up, and then they kind of level off, and then they go back down again. So it's kind of like this, like kind of that system, and then they kind of go like this. Because the reason why they level off downwards is because the better players, they start getting better at the game, and they have a more, I suppose you can say, a bit of an exponential growth in the beginning. What you want is a steady growth. So what you want to do is in the game, beginning of the game, you want to start off at decent level because you have the knowledge already. You want to play bad, essentially, and then you want to gradually improve. And the reason why this is important to understand is that if you go into the game, as I said, and you learn, for example, one meta, it's not going to help you. Because if they nerf it or they reduce it, you're going to be back to square one. What it is the system is every January, everyone always falls in a system. People generally from September, just general rule of thumb, from September to January, they normally, I would say on a skill level, let's say they're normally, let's say a regular player is a gold 3 player every FIFA. They might, for example, hover around gold 3 at this stage, but then it'll take them a long time. They'll be, for example, silver 1, silver 2, silver 3. I said it's better going into September. It's better to literally finish in September at bronze 3, then go to silver 1, and then work your way up. Because in that way, in January, you will be probably a gold 1 player because you understand the game. That's what's very important. So I wanted to mention that. I know some of you guys don't even care about this because you just want to go in and play the game. But if you do really want to get better, the most important thing specifically is don't change the way you play. It's important to understand the way that you're playing. And if it doesn't work, then you change it. Don't just change it straight away because you find it's not working. Understand why it's not working. That's the key. Understand why. And I said a lot of these videos, lofted pass, corners, unpredictability. I said all these gameplay ones. These gameplay ones won't be as effective, but the drag back will change obviously the controls, but all the actual way it goes about will still be done the exact same way. So what I'll be doing is I'll be remaking the videos again, but for FIFA 21. That's the key. So these videos will remain here, but they will be remade FIFA 21 using FIFA 21 gameplay. So wanted to mention and give you a quick update in regards to that. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed this video. As I said, we're making some FIFA 21 videos this month. A lot of things going on behind the scenes. I'm trying to hopefully get an editor on board as well. For that note, I'm also getting a test team as well. I'm trying to add some new features. I'm trying to basically integrate Patreon onto my website. So as you can see, the system is not really the best. As you can see, it's all in ascending order. Unfortunately, I can't even change this, but it's just the way Patreon have done this. But we'll try figuring out a new system, most definitely, for next year. And don't forget, if you haven't joined the Discord, of course, join that as well. But thank you very much for watching. Take it easy, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.